I'm Ganesh Srinivasan. I basically run this facilitation of Dumb Mastery. Dumb Mastery is designed by our very own Dada, whom we call as Amit Nath. And Dada basically means like brother, elder brother, right? So with respect, we call him. So there is no guru, nobody to tell you like, okay, this is what you do. We look at it, we get motivated by doing it, we understand, and it is fun. How many of you had fun in the whole process, right? Yeah, that's how things are done, right? As a kid, we have a lot of fun, we get a lot of energy, go ahead and do that. And how many of you have seen business being run on those lines? Business being fun, business being giving you money, serving people, at the same time, you enjoy the process, right? Only when you enjoy it, it's effortless. It produces more and more money, more and more service, and so on and so forth. So today, we are going to look at that particular aspect, which is frustration in dumb frustration, right? I don't know the word, so let me put the word in. I think it's badass, right? Dumb badass or dumb frustration of the dumb. Okay. So what I'll do is I will get our very own Dada to come back and explain today's topic. Yeah. How do you fine-tune your frustration? A good topic, right? Yeah, come online. Everybody, whosoever is can come online, come along. So let's see you on screen. Because what you don't see, you cannot sell. Only when you're seeing, the money comes. Yeah. All right. Over to you, Amit. Are you there?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Okay. थोड़ा सा energy down हो गया बीच में चलेगा because a lot of things are happening at the background. Some people who are watching this on YouTube and all these things. Let me tell you, just around a few minutes back, my entire screen went blank, and I had to restart my computer. And it's a Stepney thing that I came in here. How many of you guys realize that there might be some kind of a technical challenge at the back end? Anyone, did you realize that? Anyone, slightest also? Did you realize? Seriously? Okay, wow, you have a great eyes. So many times, things doesn't go the way you want, even though if it is 100% you have planned, 100% it has been there. Yes or no? Yeah. कभी ना कभी कुछ ना कुछ तो गड़बड़ होएगा. And that's why, according to, Maharshi Swamiji or Akshardham, he says 20% of your life is 100% failure. Okay, he says 20% in your life is going to be 100% failure. I mean, जिंदगी में 80% जो है वो तो failure नहीं है, but 20% are there. Okay, so this is something which is beautifully explained in this entire topic today, which is called as the idea mastery. So people who are joining in from different parts of India, I want you to probably just participate there. But I mean, if you are watching this video, if you are, accidentally you have opened also, if you can take out this next 10 minutes, might be around 8 to 10 minutes of your life. This is going to give you a big introspection, realizations, and it's going to rewire your brain like anything else. That's why when you come early morning around 7 to 7:30 and we practice this dumb mastery, there are 9 different elements, and what you are watching is just one of them, And in none of the entire elements, you are allowed to talk. Keep your mouth shut and get the work done. Do we do meditation? No. Do we also do any kind of breathing practices? No. Do we do anything about yogic kriyas and all those things? No, we don't do that. For me, I feel like if you are here and if you are logged in, you are already breathing. Hello. Okay. If you can hear me out, just give me a high five. You are moving. That means you are alive. So look, I would like to tell you, in this up and down of your life, there are something which is called stable line. So if you are living like a stable line, it is dead according to ECG. Yes or no? So up down agar nahi hoga, to kaise hoega? So in your life, I'm sure if you have ups, you're gonna have downs. Yes or no? Okay. And when people are into this kind of a zone of up and down in a very high level, you see their energy becomes something amazing. So every day, morning and evening, there are two different kinds of energy we have seen. Okay, I'm not going to get into those kind of deep meditative kind of spiritual things. Okay, lamba सांस लो, फिर सांस बाहर. Simple चीज है. कल अगर लोन लिया होगा ना तो आज तुम्हारे सांस फूलने वाले. Yes or no? If yesterday you have taken some loan, that means you have invested. I would also like to tell you, one of the biggest success is spending money. Hello? Did you understand that? Everyone is scared of spending money, but I'll tell you, when you spend money, solution comes to you, happiness comes to you, freedom comes to you, confidence comes to you, and you also get an amazing amount of power, of relief. Yes or no? Just check it out. Anytime you spend money, any kind of money, you are buying happiness, buying solitude, buying freedom, and buying all these things. Today's topic is something on the same line. I talk only about business, and business is all about human emotions and psychology, I feel. There are a lot of people who talk about innovations, products, and all this stuff. Hey, but at the end of the day, it is going to be with a human and a human. Am I right or am I right? So why not we learn about that? So today, when you have this topic, okay, I think the topic is in your chat bar, and it is called as the dumb frustration. And I showed you, it's the thing. Acha, by the way, how many of you recognize the face in that thing? There is somebody amongst you whose face is there. So just for the final time, I want to show you guys. So this is not my face. This is somebody else's face, right? So the person who can guess it correct, we have something fun. All right. So the task today is recall one moment when you lost your cool. So that means that ultimate time when your patience gave up and your frustration started. Hello? Your patience gave up and your frustration started. There was the time. If I tell you this, a lot of people will say, Dada, I have a lot, man. I have done this. Other than your marriage, you can write down anything. Is that fine? Okay. So good. This is for good people out there. Okay. No, just joking. So recall a moment in your life where you lost your cool. Okay. The moment where your patience was at the highest limits. And I want you to do a very simple thing. Write down 5 things that made you to do so. Okay. Anything that can be anger, that can be, expectation. What were that 5 things that made you to lose your cool, that made you to lose your, all the wisdom, wise, knowledgeable, all these things. All your certificates are thrown off. You don't remember about anything, but you lost your cool and you did every goddamn thing that was possible. How many of you have such kind of moments in your life? Anyone? Any Buddhas in the house? Okay. Any gods in the house? No, we are human beings. We will be frustrated. Why? Because I think we have a lot of expectations, and it doesn't match for some time. Then we blast out. And I think that's called as bhadas in Hindi. Okay, patna. At one time, right? I want you to write down this 5 things that made you to do so. That ultimate point. Why did you lose your cool? Why did you lose your temper? Why did you let it go? Why did you become the damn mad man or woman? I don't know. I'll leave it to you. Write it down. Write it down. Because you are doing your self-diagnostics. And that is the best thing in the world, is when you realize what you have and what you don't have. Yes? Just type in 5 things, like what made you to lose your cool? Right? Go ahead. Don't write big sentences, write like 2 words, 3 words, that's fine. Okay? This is for you, not for me. So what we are doing is a kind of a, finding that areas and the symptoms and the precursors. Please mind this word. It's called as precursor, that triggers that frustration. Okay? That triggers that frustration. Okay? And it reminds me of a beautiful, story of Bhagwan Buddha. There are 2 stories. One story Bhagwan Buddha, goes from villages to give his sermons. How many of you know that? He's traveled everything by foot. And he went to one of the places where he was teaching. But there was one guy, constantly he was giving slangs and nonsense and all these things. And after 1 or 2 hours, he got frustrated. And he came to Buddha and said, "Hey, there gussa nahi aata hai. You don't get angry. You don't get frustrations." Buddha, as usual, enlightened person, he said, "What you do with the gift when the person does not accept?" Did you remember? How many of you know this story? What to do with that gift that you have purchased or you have brought, but that other person is not accepting? Then they said, "I will keep it." Exactly. So that gift that you have for me, if I am not accepting, you keep it. I don't need that gift. Anyone getting an aha moment? Right? So in your life, I'm sure there are a lot of such kind of beautiful gifts are there, but it is your way to accept it or not. I'm not here to teach Bhagavad Gita or all this Bhagwan's preachings, but I think this is very good topic for today's frustrations and all these things. I see people have lost their attention span. In TikTok and Instagram, I was asked by my creative team and my social media team that Dada, the attention span is not even 7 seconds. I said 7 seconds mein jab tak main saans lu khatam ho jayega yaar. So I don't know, what should I talk? Okay, people are getting frustrated for small things today, whether it is road rage, whether it is your, in corporate intra communications, neighbor communications, parental communications, and probably many other things which is happening in your business and non-business as well. Yes or no? Right? So now, I want you to also write down 5 ways. How do you think you can handle such situations? Don't give gyan for others. I want you to give the gyan for yourself. Okay? How could you have done it better? Now, today, you are the mature yourself. You know better than what you had probably around years together or months back. What are those 5 things by which you could have reacted in a better way, taken control of the situation in a better way? You might have responded rather than reacted in that way. Write down 5 such points. Easy? Easy? 5 points. That's all. Just 5 points. How could have, prolonged your cool for some more time rather than giving up in a directionless frustration, or bhalas we call it as. So that's the topic for today. The topic is called as fine-tuning the frustration, the bhalas. That's the topic. So how do you do that? We are doing it live in Dham Mastery, and this part of the Dham Mastery is called as Idea Mastery. The people who are watching this, you can also comment on the chat bar or from whichever the places you are doing it. Okay, this is a live situation. This is not a transformation. This is transcendence, where you put the seed of your version 2.0 today, and every day you grow with that power. So if you guys have written this down, I want you guys to also understand that whatever you have written is your own prescription for your own self, for your better tomorrow. Am I right or am I right? I'm not giving any prescription. Did you see that? This is the self-coaching mechanism. The guru is inside you. It is not outside. What I'm doing is I'm just putting a mirror in front of you, where you, in this particular topic, the first thing that happened is you scanned your entire past. Your experience is in past. Your fear is in future. Correct? Hello? Your experience is in your past and your fear is in your future. So when you're doing this exercise, I want you to understand that to have a fantastic future, you need to recall, rewind, repair, and get into something which is a version 2. So today, when you learned this topic for the first time, you went back to your memory lane, yes or no? Okay, number 2, you have so much of data, you filtered one of those data and you prioritize that data, yes or no? The number 2. Number 3, in that data, you went into the scrutiny mode or analyzing mode, and you found out the 5 things that probably pushed you to lose your cool. That means you did a very deep introspection. If a third party would have given you this, you would have never listened to him. Yes or no? If the third party is telling you are angry, that day you were shouting, that day you threw something at me, that day you spoke bad languages, you would have never heard this. But today, just because I asked you to do this introspection, how many of you guys got your actual image when you are angry, when you lose your cool, when you are frustrated. Did you see that face? How many of you guys saw your face? I actually showed you a movie. Yeah, you do not know. Yes, I have shown you a movie. And then I also showed you, do you want that movie to continue or you want to put an end? So the second part of today's session was, how do you find these 5 things to advise that person in that mirror to become the person who is on the other side of the mirror? Beautiful, isn't it? Okay, how do you advise that person in the mirror who is frustrated, tensed, and angry, and probably all this kind of different confusions and commotions going in, to become the placid guy on the other side, right? So I would probably end this session with a very beautiful, again, a story from Buddha, Buddha and the arrow. How many of you know this story, Buddha and the arrow? Anyone knows this story? So there was one guy, he was asking, okay, what is important, what is priority, and how do we react, what is behavior? So many questions he has. And Buddha said, imagine right now there is an arrow from somewhere, it goes through your heart, but you are still alive. What are you going to do? You are going to go to the nearest, village and ask for medical help, or you are going to decide who shot the arrow, was it poisoned or not, which angle it has come, this is a poisoned arrow or non-poisoned arrow, the tip is made up of iron or something else. Hello, the guy said, I will seek for medical help. So did you understand the story here? The story is, at that point of time, what is more important? Today in our life, we have got many things, unwanted stuff which is happening in our life. But my question is, what is more important? People are learning so many nonsenses out there that is bringing them sense to them, but it is giving a false sense of gratitude, false sense of achievement. Am I right, sir? Okay. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is, it is a human being's world. We are right now controlling even the climate of this entire beautiful blue dot in this entire galaxy. Yes or no? So you have got so much power. What are we doing with this power? When you go out of your house, you say goodbye to your family, but you are okay with the road rage and the traffic, and then the same thing, frustration. So what you give, you get back. Am I right, sir? So according to me, the best thing is you learn only one skill, and that skill is called as closing. How do you close details? And it is a two-way closing. First you close yourself, only then you can close others. Yes or no? Yeah. So are you guys able to understand? The more you start learning about closing, it is not only just you are creating a beautiful thing around yourself, but you are also creating a beautiful harmony amongst human being to human being. And you are the reason and the cause for somebody's pain, somebody's problem, somebody's issues. And you are the reason, you are the catalyst for a pain or probably a person in frustration to get a result and a solution much more faster. Am I right or right? Yeah. So if this is the kind of a noble cause, and if this is the kind of a karma, then why are we not putting our head and heart and soul and body into this? I leave you with that kind of a thought process for the rest remaining day. You have already, today it is almost like around 8 hours is over. The remaining 18 hours are there. How can you make this 18 hours so much productive today? Close that goddamn deal today so that someone gets the relief today. Someone gets that solution today. Someone gets that happiness. Someone gets that gratitude today. Yes or no? Aaj hi karna hai. And by the way, when you close the deal today, the transaction happens today. You are also happy. Your family is happy. The client is happy. The organizer is happy. Is there anything bigger, better happiness than this? And by the way, without fooling, without schooling, yeah, did you understand this? Without fooling, not to cheat him, without fooling, not to take care of his ignorance and taking a benefit out of it. Am I right, sir? These are the ethos. So remember always one thing, the ethos that we bring in here are, it has to be morally correct, ethically correct, legally correct, financially correct, and also spiritually correct. So I request all the people who are watching this, write down your comments about how did you feel about this session? What is your realizations? And I'm going to request all the people in the Zoom as well. Please write down your names. We can have around 4 or 5 people to learn from you. What were your aha moments, realization moments, introspection moments, and the deep connect that you got from today? And what are the kind of things that you want to gear up for your version 2.0 starting right now, not tomorrow? Your enlightenment is here. Okay. या तो enlightened हो जाओ, बुद्धा बनोगे, नहीं तो जिंदगी भर बुद्धू बनोगे. Choice is yours. Good. So write down your names and let's open the session for those people who want to participate. Go ahead. Yeah, you can unmute and go ahead.
Hello, good morning, everyone. So yeah, today's topic is very close to me also. But yeah, sometimes in life it happens. We just don't get that वो भड़ास वाली feeling खाली खुद के लिए नहीं आती है, सामने वाले के लिए भी आती है. Like I have faced it. I got frustrated. I got that outburst that happened for a client. I was fighting for him, not for myself. But that badass, it can come. And it also happens with us when we are expecting something and it doesn't happen. Short expectations or something like that. But yeah, I learned one thing more. You can give one chance, two chance, at least give three chances. It can get solved. And that outbreak also comes because we are not that disturbance is inside us, that inner peace we don't have. That's
Awesome.
why it also happens.
Nice. Well said. Yeah. Next person, go ahead quickly.
Yeah, when I was childhood, like I have an elder brother, and we used to fight, and most of the time I loses. So in the anger, I used to hit the table and all with the cloth, so it won't hurt me back. That anger was there with me. But as growing up, I realized expressing the anger that time and just giving up and just keeping quiet will be much better for us. Just keeping quiet, and maybe the fight will be inside us. Everything will be silent, and that is the thing I practice from there. And also, whenever the temptation come, like frustration and all, like by fighting with the parents and all, sometimes there will be no curry, there will be no food, the food will be get over. Like times happens with my mother and all, I keep quiet because they have other hardships going on. Mother, she wakes up like 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. We don't see that. But fighting that moment, she will just get into tears. Only that will happen. So keeping quiet is what I do and I practice now.
Awesome. I think there is a hidden topic here. It's called as the consciousness of frustration. And I think I can relate with you. I have seen a couple fighting with each other. They're throwing pots and pans. But why they're not throwing the television? Did you understand that? Why they're not throwing something on the refrigerators? Or why they're not taking the jewelry out and throwing out there? Something is there. It's called as consciousness of frustration. You still are on that limit. Hello, how many of you guys are getting this? Why you don't do that? Yeah, so there is a limit out there. Good, nice. Next person, please.
सर डेली टॉपिक है. डेली मेरे हिसाब से 24 घंटे में से 8, 9, 10 घंटे तो ऐसे होते होंगे जिसमें डेली फ्रस्ट्रेशन वाला एक्टिव रहता है हरदम के लिए. तो उसमें कैसे अपने आप को कंट्रोल करें सर? कैसे दूसरों को लेट लीव इट? तो सर ये मतलब बहुत डेली वाला टॉपिक है कि फ्रस्ट्रेशन से कैसे बचें. क्योंकि घर में भी कोई बोलता है तो भी लगता है कि भाई जो काम का प्रेशर है वो इतना ज्यादा है, उनको अवॉइड करते हैं. कोई कुछ ज्यादा बोलता है तो फिर से फ्रस्ट्रेशन हो जाते हैं उनके ऊपर कि यार मेरे को मत छेड़ो मैं अपना काम कर रहा हूँ. वो मुझसे फ्रस्ट्रेट हो जाते हैं फिर. तो ये डेली टॉपिक है सर, इसको नेग्लेक्ट भी नहीं किया जा सकता. तो अपने आप को कैसे बचा के रखना है वो इम्पोर्टेंट है.
Right. So I think the biggest point is expectations, and this particular problem can be solved only by communication. And when you communicate, the third thing which opens up is called clarity. And in this clarity, there are like 5 steps are there. I cannot go all the steps here, but one of the steps is your resourcefulness and your skills. Resourcefulness and your skills. Resourcefulness means, do you have the techniques and the whatever the software, hardware, and whatever the gadgets required for you to solve that problem? Number 2, do you have the skills to work with them? And number 3, are you aware that whatever you are doing is in the proper structures that will give you a consistent output? People in job, when you get frustrated, there is only 2 points: either clarity issue, or resource issue, or skill issue. And all these things can be also put into the 4th point, which is called as the communication issue. And I don't know if I have a 5th point. Am I making sense? या तो clarity issue, या तो resource issue, या तो skill issue, या तो communication issue. See, these four things, if you can control, and that's what closer does. He understands the combination of resourcefulness. That's why when other people can work only for like 2 hours at a stretch, a closer can work for 10 hours with only around 30 minutes a gap. How many of you agree? Raise your hands. Yeah, see, you are already different than probably the people if you're watching this YouTube. This is a challenge for you also. 10 hours with only 30 minutes break. Check it out. If you can match up this with these guys, I don't know. Check it out. That's one of the things. So when you have beast-like power and you have got God-like intellect, that's where beautiful thing happens. And definitely it is joined by love in your heart. So I think it is an ultimate Vedic structures where everything is connected with happiness is connected to the love. So that brings me to the next person. Please go ahead.
Sir, I want to ask you a question.
Okay, we can do it later. You can write it down. Yeah. Yeah, Navneet, go ahead. Then we have Reshma, then we have Pinaki, we have Chetan, then we'll end with Nandakumar.
Good morning, Dada. This topic is not very frequent with me, but I do get frustrated at times. The reason I used to be a short-tempered guy for most of my life until the last decade. I realized that I have to control my patience. I have to have more patience back then due to various life-changing events. But then I still continue to get frustrated once it reaches beyond a threshold that intolerance comes in. Because there is a limit that you can take things. Even Lord Krishna, at one point, he couldn't tolerate more than 100 times. So that's the way it happens. But that's still bad because instead of reacting, I know that we have to control or respond, but it's at that point in time, I do not know how to bring that thought or calmness into the very emotional mind state. That's where even I'm struggling at some points. But most of the time, I do have the sense, and I come back to my calmness. But
So Navneet, one of the point is, it was not that Lord Krishna was without control. Lord Krishna controlled it at the birth of Shishupal itself. He said 100 times, I will allow you. So there was a control element. In our business, we do the same thing in our terms and conditions, disclaimer, policy. Yes or no? That's the legal document. Itna tak theek hai. Iske upar I will pick up my gun. Yes or no? So I think that is the same thing is when you have a conditioned structure in your behavior. For example, this is the same thing which I do. Okay, I have a contract period of this, and I can excuse or this points. If it exceeds something, we will either mutually talk and settle it out. If it is not, this is my dead end. Clear? Okay. So again, if you see the same thing, these are conditions, terms and conditions which are used. Many times people don't take care of this legal system, the third important component of Ashtabahu. So when you buy a chips packet, it says this is a wow, munchy, nutrition, this, that, all these things, but there is an expiry date also. Hello? And then if anything goes wrong, there is a support system also. Write us at feedback@xyz.com. Yes or no? So I think that's one of the beautiful point, so that you don't get frustrated. You know your terms, but you go ahead. Again, you need to also give warnings. That is very important in business. It's very important. Okay, warnings can not, I mean, it can be in a multiple way. For example, your domain is getting expired. It's a warning. It's a reminder. Yes or no? Or probably your validity is getting expired. That is also a warning. Did you see everywhere that Shishupal Krishna concept is there? Anyone getting aha moment of spirituality with this? It's all there. Good. Next person. Go ahead.
Thank you, Dhawan. These frustration things everyone will face in life, even me also. But I used to deal with like becoming silent and listening them. Even becoming silent at that situation also gives me frustration sometimes. Means because of miscommunication. That's what I realized. Uh, Becoming silent also, they don't understand what we are going to communicate. So I realized how to communicate the other person can understand. So I started by giving examples, like you said, clarity. So if we directly say anything to them, sometimes opposite person also don't understand what we are going to tell. So in that moment, I started taking examples, explaining them, so that that person also understand my thing also comes to down. That's what I solved this thing, and I am practicing so many days
Yeah.
like that.
I think one
So
more
that's
add-on points I would like to add here is it's called as pre-framing. Okay, I think frustration and all this expectations problem can be solved by pre-framing and putting a kind of a clarity. We call it as DOL, division of labor. Look, my task is XYZ, your task is ABCD. Okay, and these are the things will happen. If it doesn't happen in this way, then I can take your help or you can take my help, right? So rather than going on an expectation breach, I think this is all about how you communicate. And sometimes silence is something which is understood in a different way. For example, it can be understood as a hatred. It can be understood as patience. It can be also understood as embarrassment or introspection, anything, or deep calculations. So how you're putting the power of silence, I think we can take a different topic. It's a huge topic, guys. It's a huge topic. And in closing, we use this power of silence to close a lot of deals. How many of you know this? Yeah, we use a lot of this. Okay, good. Next person, Pinaki. And then we have got Chetan, then we have got Nandakumar. And we end with Nandakumar today.
Yeah, good morning, all family members, and good morning, coach. Good morning, Dada. So this topic is very, very nice because it is all about being the transition from being reactive to being conscious. When we burst out, it is kind of reflex action from the croc bin. So that is all taking about the focus from the croc brain to the frontal cortex, where we take the conscious decisions. So that is what I got.
Okay. How many of you guys are able to say studying too much? Yeah, good. So let's go to the next person.
Thank you, Dada. For me, the frustration point is something, earlier I was too short-tempered, just like Navneet-ji. But in the journey of my life has taught me a lot. The frustration is something that, as you already mentioned, that, the expectations were basically the expectation with myself and the expectations with others. So now I take as a frustration has a completely different way, basically. If I'm frustrated something, definitely that I don't have a clarity in myself, or I don't know what the other person wants from me as my expectation to fulfill. So I take as a tool now to understand myself and to do my own homework to get my clarity and to understand the other person where he's lagging because maybe my expectation not fulfilling because he has his own problems. So I need to find his problem to resolve his problems. So my expectations is going to complete. So by ending this, just a few days back, I learned something. Read emotions are just an energy and motions. Basically, it doesn't require a which is a temporary. We should not do in a permanency. Basically, feel it, have it, embrace it if you want for some time, but release it again. So thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Okay. I would like to connect that entire frustration to complete finance today. Okay, guys, I'll tell you, your frustration is my finance. I'll talk about that. Let's go to the last person. Nandakumar, go ahead.
Mostly like getting frustration for being going to traffic or expecting too much on self or others. Every time either expectations are from any side, like it is from not only from our side or the other side. If it is not meeting, like we get. Earlier, I used to use like either it used to come as anger in bad words or things. Now I started like sometimes my wife used to be there with me or others. Why you are using or why you are throwing your anger? So now I started keeping quiet or throwing a smile to the situation or changing the topic. This way I slowly came out of those movements.
Beautiful.
This is
So let me start with a very powerful thing is there was a couple, this is a story, guys, take it in the kind of a joyful way. And every time the husband comes and tantrums and all this, the couple ways of, connecting and all these things. So he's going, throwing the clothes here, that here. But the wife is always calm, very sweet, very smiling and all these things. But one fine day, after many such kind of things where he has like understood self-realization, I am shouting here and there, how come she's so calm? So he one day asked me, look, I know there are areas where I got angry on you, I shouted, I throwed stuff and I pushed things and I did all the nonsense. And you just kept your calm. How do you get out of your frustration? She says, I clean toilet. Did you get my point? Cleaning toilet. What is that nonsense? Yeah, with your toothbrush. Did you get my point, sir? Okay. So how do you take out your frustration? There are certain smart ways to do that. Okay. So I'm going to give you some 4 amazing, powerful things to understand that in today's world, frustration is a business. The more you are frustrated, there are people waiting to take your money. You have a problem with your wife, or the wife has a problem with the husband, relationship coach. Your dog doesn't listen to you, pet parenting. Your kid is not listening to you, parenting coach. Boss management coach. Corporate communication coach. Are kuch nahi to saans lene ke liye coach. Yes or no? There is a goddamn person making money out of your frustration. Dada, I'm not able to bend. Okay, yoga coach. Am I right, sir? Sir, mere baal nahi aa rahe. Sir, mere baal zyada aa rahe. There is a coach. Dada, I'm going to get married tomorrow. Where? Canada. So I don't know English. Communication coach. How many of you guys are able to see that this is a $1 trillion industry? Is today's session powerful, sir? Now are you learning all these things? And all of them are making a good amount of money. Itna paisa to Walmart bhi nahi banaya hoga. Did you get my point? There is somebody, Dada mar jaunga kya karunga? Insurance coach. There is somebody who is doing a huge amount of business with somebody's tension, somebody's frustration. And that's a beautiful area for me. The more people are tensed, the more money we make. Anyone getting an aha moment today? But if you yourself are frustrated, how are you going to take over somebody else's frustration? How are you going to do certain things? So here are the 4 areas by which you can actually tame yourself. Number 1, your frustration will be your frustration unless and until you outsource to somebody who knows better how to handle that situation. So you need to take care of that. If you don't have money, if you don't have network and connections, then the frustration will be always there. So what are the frustration usually? Expectations, communications, network and resources, and ultimately the clarity. That's all. Check it out. Number 2, delegate your frustration. I'm giving you some of the very powerful things. Productivity coaches and all these people, they will take probably hundreds of days to give you this thing. I'm giving you like in one shot. The only way you can do it is delegate. When you get more time, you will be less frustrated. So how do you delegate? Delegate everything. Khana, pina, ghumna, firna, everything, including clothes. Some big people, okay, they don't want to get frustrated of even choosing their clothes. For example, the person in Facebook. How many of you know this guy, Mark Zuckerberg? He does not want to get frustrated of choosing his t-shirt also. So he wears the same kind of a t-shirt every goddamn day. Same kind of, not the same t-shirt. Mind it. Like, did you understand? So these are certain things, how you can control. So I would like to give you one deadly thing is, one day Chanakya was traveling and there was a thorn which pricked him and he was very, very tensed. It was very intense. He did not show his anger. He did not show his thing. He kept his calm. He went to the nearby shop at that point of time and he bought good sweet and he mixed it with water and all these things and he put near the plant. So the entire way. So this is a very, very fine-tuned, mature intentions. Anyone thinking? So many times we do something called as tit for tat. This fellow told you a slang, you opened the door, you gave another slang, tit for tat. But what did Chanakya did is he channelized his frustration in a very mindful, logical way, and he put sweet water to all those plants. Why? He used a technique which we use as a closer also. He used the technique of a third-party intervention for permanent remedy. So the sweet, that water will attract the ants will eat the roots, and the plant is dead permanently. No thorns for him, no thorns for the next generation in that same way. Aha moment. So how many of you guys can channelize this? So when you come to FEST and this kind of a structured information system, the first thing is you understand what are your powers. Next, you channelize your clarity, resources, and communication the second week. Third week, you understand where you are, where you need to go. Fourth week, you create all these powerful things and you gather your weapons and start practicing. Fifth week, when you understand that there is a person required with you to teach you all these things, handhold you all these things, and find the faults in you. Why you go to school? Because you wanted yourself to get trained. What is training? Finding your fault. Yes or no? But in today's world, if I give you some kind of an advice, you will be frustrated, you will be criticizing, you will be feeling embarrassed. But that is the way you learn. Did you get my point? If you change the reason of frustration to a perspective of your inner development, if you ask that one question, why I am getting frustrated, why that guy is getting frustrated, the enlightenment is there. Anyone getting a moment? If you can take hold of this enlightenment, very shortly you will see that you have got God in your head, beast in your body, love in your heart, Lakshmi in your pocket. With that amazing time, I would like to end today's session. Let me know in the comment bar, how do you find this session? I think this was very powerful. I hope this power will keep you for the next 24 hours. Tomorrow morning, I'll see you at the same time. Bye-bye, take care. And remember, you are closer than you can imagine. See you.